The psychology of mate selection and compatibility, the process by which humans choose long-term partners, represents one of the most consequential decisions individuals make in their lives, with implications that extend far beyond personal happiness to encompass reproductive success, child-rearing outcomes, and overall life satisfaction. Understanding the psychological mechanisms that guide mate selection reveals a complex interplay of evolutionary adaptations, unconscious biases, conscious preferences, and cultural learning that together shape who we find attractive as potential life partners and how we evaluate compatibility for long-term relationships. Evolutionary psychology has identified several key factors that appear to influence human mate preferences across cultures and historical periods. These preferences reflect solutions to the adaptive problems faced by our ancestors over millions of years of evolution, particularly the challenges of identifying partners who would be capable and willing to contribute to successful reproduction and child rearing. While modern mate selection occurs in environments very different from those of our evolutionary past, research suggests that many ancient preferences continue to influence contemporary relationship choices. Physical attractiveness plays a fundamental role in initial mate attraction, though the specific features considered attractive vary somewhat across cultures and individuals. Research has identified several universal components of physical attractiveness that appear to signal genetic quality, health, and reproductive potential. These include facial symmetry, clear skin, appropriate body proportions, and secondary sexual characteristics that indicate hormonal health and fertility. However, cultural factors significantly influence attractiveness standards, and individual preferences show considerable variation around these general patterns. The role of physical attractiveness in long-term relationship success is complex and often overestimated by individuals in the early stages of relationships. While physical attraction is typically crucial for initial romantic interest, its importance for relationship satisfaction and stability tends to decline over time as other factors become more significant. Couples who remain together for many years often report that their perceptions of their partner's attractiveness increase over time, suggesting that emotional connection and compatibility can enhance physical attraction. Age preferences in mate selection reflect evolutionary adaptations related to reproductive potential. Men across cultures tend to prefer women who are younger than themselves, particularly for long-term relationships, while women tend to prefer men who are close to their own age or somewhat older. These preferences align with patterns of reproductive capacity and resource accumulation that would have influenced reproductive success in ancestral environments. However, contemporary factors such as extended educational periods and career development may be modifying these traditional age preferences. Resource acquisition abilities and social status represent another crucial domain of mate selection, particularly for long-term relationships. The capacity to provide resources for offspring has been critically important throughout human evolution, and contemporary research continues to find that both men and women value indicators of resource potential in long-term partners. However, the specific cues that signal resource capacity have evolved to match modern environments, including education, career prospects, emotional intelligence, and other skills that predict success in contemporary society. The psychology of mate selection also involves sophisticated assessments of personality characteristics that predict relationship success. Individuals tend to prefer partners who display traits such as kindness, emotional stability, intelligence, humor, and reliability. These preferences make evolutionary sense because such characteristics would have facilitated successful cooperation in child-rearing and other long-term endeavors. Research suggests that these personality preferences are often more important for relationship satisfaction and stability than physical characteristics. Similarity versus complementarity represents a fundamental dimension of mate selection that has generated considerable research interest. The general pattern suggests that opposites attract is largely a myth, with successful long-term relationships more often characterized by similarity across many dimensions including values, interests, personality traits, intelligence, and background characteristics. This pattern of assortative mating may facilitate communication, reduce conflict, and increase mutual understanding between partners. However, some research suggests that certain types of complementarity may enhance relationship satisfaction, particularly when partners possess different but compatible strengths that allow them to support each other effectively. For example, one partner's strengths in emotional expression might complement the other's analytical abilities, creating a balanced partnership that serves both individuals well. The timing of mate selection decisions plays a crucial role in relationship outcomes. Research suggests that individuals who take sufficient time to know potential partners before making long-term commitments tend to have more successful relationships. However, excessive delays in commitment may also create problems, particularly if one partner desires greater security and progression in the relationship. The optimal timing appears to involve a balance between gathering sufficient information about compatibility and moving forward with commitment when a suitable partner is identified. Individual differences in mate selection strategies reflect variations in personality, life experiences, attachment styles, and personal circumstances. Some individuals prioritize emotional connection and compatibility above other factors, while others emphasize practical considerations such as financial stability or family background. These differences in mate selection priorities may reflect different life strategies adapted to different circumstances and goals. The role of unconscious processes in mate selection has received increasing research attention. Many of the factors that influence attraction and partner choice operate below the level of conscious awareness, including responses to pheromones, unconscious mimicry of facial expressions and body language, and implicit assessments of genetic compatibility. These unconscious processes may sometimes conflict with conscious mate preferences, leading to attraction to partners who do not match stated criteria. Modern technology has dramatically altered the mate selection landscape through online dating platforms, social media, and other digital tools. These technologies can expand the pool of potential partners and provide new ways of assessing compatibility before meeting in person. However, they may also create new biases and challenges, such as the tendency to make quick judgments based on limited information or the overwhelming array of choices that can make commitment more difficult. The transition from mate selection to relationship commitment involves psychological processes that go beyond initial attraction and compatibility assessment. Successfully committed couples typically demonstrate the ability to make realistic assessments of their partner's strengths and limitations while maintaining positive regard and investment in the relationship. This process often involves gradually increasing levels of disclosure, intimacy, and interdependence that test and strengthen the partnership over time. Understanding the psychology of mate selection has important practical implications for individuals seeking long-term relationships. Awareness of the factors that influence attraction and compatibility can help people make more informed choices about partners and avoid common pitfalls in relationship development. This knowledge can also inform relationship education programs and therapeutic interventions designed to help couples build stronger, more satisfying partnerships. Research continues to refine our understanding of mate selection psychology through longitudinal studies that track couples over many years, cross-cultural investigations that identify universal versus culturally specific patterns, and neuroscience research that examines the brain mechanisms underlying attraction and bonding. These ongoing investigations promise to deepen our knowledge of how humans choose partners and what factors contribute to successful long-term relationships.